Hello. Here we are for the last Just Breathe live. But that does not mean, of course, that I will not be doing any more live shows. As you know, there is Living in the Flow with Alexis, there is Discovering the Magic with Serena, there is Living in Symbiosis in Portuguese with Joanna. And so it is not the end of my live streams, it is a transition in my live streams. So I'm very happy to be coming to this point where Just Breathe is transforming into something else. Hello, Matea. Hello. Thank you very much. I am also so very, very grateful for all of the moments we've shared together throughout these last almost 2 years. Today is the 22nd edition of Just Breathe Live. And actually, it is 2 years because we didn't have it in August this year. And I believe 1 month last year. So basically, we're on the 2 year threshold of Just Breathe Live. Hello, Tiasha and Maya and Joanna. Hello, everyone, dear friends. And so, other than there being a transition, so my live streams are now basically in cooperation, in co-creation with other beautiful, magnificent, awesome, incredible masters. And so that gives me extreme joy. It's really a celebration that we could come to this point of sharing our free flow in these co-creations. And also, I recently had a live stream with Tom Lemo, whom I have a co-creation with regarding the most recently launched conscious breath immersive experience called So It's Simple, which was created around the story So It's Simple. If you haven't checked it out, please do, because it's really incredible and amazing. And there are other creations in the loop between Tom and I. So you will soon know in a few months what's coming out next. So that is another co-creative partnership in expressing together. And regarding the breath, so within my sharing with Serena, we will be sharing also conscious breath, compassionate breath, and also sometimes with Joanna in our Living in Symbiosis. Of course, it's in Portuguese, as I said. And if you don't know Portuguese, it doesn't matter, because a few days after it goes live, there are the subtitles. And we're also considering bringing it on in English sooner or later. So another thing that I'm bringing forth is on Insight Timer, I will be sharing, and I'm not sure yet whether it be once or twice a month, 15 minutes of my presence in silence. And so we're whoever wants to join, it's a space like similar to the inner circle of silence, which I have going within the enlightening showers of presence, which has now ended. So we have just ended the second cycle of 2022 of the 3 month enlightening showers of presence compassionate experience, which has been just magnificent, and it ended yesterday. And within that creation, we have something called the inner circle of silence, which is really a space that is multidimensionally created, that provides a level of profound inner peace and silence, which allows for clarity and for a safe space to be able to discern. And within that, I also have the Miracle Virtual Room. So if you want one of those just for you, I also have that. If you'd like to know more, you can find it in the treasure chest, the InPassion treasure chest. All of this is on my website. Okay. On the InPassion Creations tab, you will find all of these things. And so on Insight Timer, I will be providing 15 minutes once or twice a month of just absolute silence with my presence together with yours. So I will announce those periodically. That is also a free offering. And well, if you've never experienced the inner circle of silence, I invite you to experiment with this that I will be providing. And then you'll see what it's like for you. So, hi, Doris. Hello. And so today, what is it that I am going to share in our last Just Breathe Life? A few experiences that I've had myself on my journey of discovering being whole. So, as most of you know, back in 2013, I came to a culmination of my integration journey that had been going on for a few years, and that culmination resulted in a kind of a near death experience, and where everything collapsed into one divine, human, feminine, masculine, mind, body, soul. There was no longer any sense of separation within me. And from then on, my journey has been a journey of discovering moment to moment how to embody, not how to embody this because I embodied it in that moment, but how to deal with it, how to experience it, how to bring it more and more into the physicality of my reality, be it in my physical body, be it, of course, then also in all of my physical reality around me, because all of that is just one thing is a reflection of the other. And so I've experienced many shifts, many I could call them upgrades, but maybe that's not the correct term. Um, I would say, well, as I have been integrating my crystalline energy body into the physicality throughout, more intensely, obviously, since 2013 onwards. Throughout all of these years, many shifts have happened in my body, and of course in my awareness and in my um, senses. Many senses have activated, senses I didn't even know I had. Many capacities that I didn't know I had have bloomed. And when it comes to the physicality, I know that it is quite challenging for everyone, because, of course, the density of the physical body provides some interesting challenges, um, which, when we view them as natural, they are not necessarily seen as bad or things that we would like to avoid or not be experiencing. They're just simply accepted as part of the journey, as part of this continuous enlightening path. So once we actually merge into oneness, into our wholeness, I like to call it like that, it's just an enlightening journey. And that enlightening journey manifests in all of the areas of our lives, in all of our relationships, in our relationship to our physicality as well. And so I'm going to share with you some of those experiences which I haven't really shared much about publicly. I've shared a little bit here and there. Not that everyone will have the same kind of experiences. Obviously, each one has their own experiences. But just as a touch base as to how it's been for me. And because, many times I believe some people just think, oh, well, it seems like she's just got it all together and everything's always just great. And because it is really, honestly, it's like I don't have that kind of um, viewpoint where even if something that is not so great happens, that it's gonna bother me to a point that I get frustrated or worried or anything like that. I don't have those kinds of things. I don't have worry in me. I don't have stress in me. um, I don't view things as problems. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't have, that makes my experience of whatever is happening very different from maybe the same experience if it were happening with someone else. So being in a physical world, in a physical body, in a human experience is, of course, always shifting, and it's always a challenge in many ways, because it's adapting what one calls expanded consciousness into what we believed to be limited. So we've always really believed the physicality to be a limited kind of experience, and then bringing in that expanded consciousness into the physicality gradually shows us that it's not so limited, and that we are really definitely free. So it's basically experiencing more and more levels of freedom in every kind of arena. And so within these 9 years, there have been many shifts, and one of them is with the mind. So right from hello, Simone, right from the word go in 2013, I've already shared that my mind just went completely blank, and there was such a level of silence inside that I couldn't even sort of produce words within me. And then gradually that started adjusting, and gradually I started being able to think again. But the way I think is really very different from what it used to be. I don't have voices inside of me saying stuff all the time, and having arguments or anything like that. It's basically mostly really nice and quiet. Well, nice and quiet because I like the quiet. But also, what happens is that in that initial phase, after April 2013, I really had to allow a restructuring of thinking. So then thinking really became something that comes from within, and then the mind serves that which is coming from the inner perception. And it was interesting and all of that, and there are many words and things like that that escape me in the moment, and there are so many experiences that had happened before that moment in 2013 that I don't even remember. It's like totally another lifetime, but I know that that happens many times along our lifetime, but in this case, it's like really having died and being born all over again. Hello, hello, Jose. Hello. So, okay, that I started adapting to the new way. And what was then the new way of thinking? The new way of thinking is something that is totally out of my control. So I can't control at all what comes into my thoughts. And other than that, it is absolutely fluid, and whatever I need to know just shows up when I need to know it, unless it's a word or something that I would like to know in a moment, but it doesn't show up, and then it shows up later on. And so throughout these last almost 10 years, so we're going on to 10 years, but it's still within 9 years. What has happened? So whenever I go through a kind of a frequency shift where more crystalline energy is entering the physicality, again, my mind goes through another transition. And so every single time um, I become more forgetful, a little bit, like I would say, airheaded. Like it's it's really hard to concentrate on certain things that require a lot of thinking. But what I've noticed in this last kind of shift that's been happening with me since August, actually it's been happening the whole year, but anyway, more intensely since August, what I've noticed is that the level of focus, so what happens is, it's like at the same time that there's this kind of not being able to think, there is also a capacity that I had never experienced at this level before, to be able to manage a load of things all at once and not lose track of any of them. Though I don't know how it happens. So it's not a normal, like a normal thinking process. It's just that everything is very clearly aligned within me, and so whatever I need to be focusing on is just there, and so I can be really focused on an amount of things and not lose track of any of them. um, and that's been just amazing to observe, because I've always had a really great capacity to organize and to lead teams, to lead projects, all sorts of things like that. But now it's sort of enhanced. I don't know. It's really incredibly enhanced, because another thing within this not knowing how it happens, so without having to process or think about it, is that it's effortless, completely effortless. Um, I managed to handle a load of things at once without effort, with absolute ease. But then another thing I really notice is that more than ever before, I have to also keep track of the time I have to take out for me without having to think about or do anything or organize or take care of anything. So because each time, the time that I am using to organize and the time that I am using for myself is equally proportionate, then the quality of that time, be it one thing or the other, is really incredibly enhanced. Another thing I notice is a clarity that I've had clarity, a lot of it, since 2013, but now in these last months it's just enhanced incredibly. And so I just get these pieces of information about what I need to know, be it in my own personal life, be it with my clients, anything, it just boom, it just comes. The answers are just so immediately there, and they're always 100% accurate. And because there's no doubt in me, it's really easy to flow with that. So, but what I'd like to really leave here with, regarding the mind, is that if by any chance you're going through a kind of forgetfulness, and it tends to get a little bit strange, like when the more you're integrating your crystalline body, it gets stranger. Don't fret about it, just let it happen. Just trust it completely. You're not going crazy. You're absolutely fine. um, Allow it. Be playful with it. Don't judge yourself. Don't go into self-criticism if you find you're sort of forgetting really important stuff. And it's okay. It's okay. So then I advise, find ways that if you do have important stuff that you need to remember and that you're forgetting more, just grab a notebook and take notes about stuff that you need to remember. That's it. Make your life easier instead of going into self-judgment and trying to sort of think, oh, am I going nutty or something? What's going on? Just trust the process. Trust the process. Your mind is shifting. It will continue shifting. These times where it goes weirder will continue happening over several months, so for long periods of time at a time. It's all fine. It's all just part of the process. Another thing that happens in the physical body, as the crystalline consciousness is really becoming physical, um, are discomforts. Of course, you're all acquainted with that. And they can be in any part of the body. So what is the difference between that kind of discomfort and the discomfort that is caused when there are stuck energies that need to be integrated? What is the difference? The difference is your sense. Okay, so I invite you to really dive into those discomforts wherever they are in your body and sense. And you will immediately know whether that discomfort is stuck energy, that it's some kind of emotion, some kind of aspect that needs to be acknowledged and integrated, belief, habit, whatever, or whether it's just this amazing, incredibly natural shift as the crystalline energy swirls and spirals into the physical cells to constitute this physicality more and more and more. You will feel it. Now, one thing that is essential is trust what you feel. Allow yourself to stay in trust, because that is the key. The more you trust what you feel straight away, the more it becomes natural. So there are moments where you might be going through huge discomfort, even illness. You might be going through things that seem extremely uh, life-threatening, if we would see it in the perspective of mass consciousness. But you will know inside of you, first of all, what that is, why it's happening, and what your body needs from you in order to support it in whichever way is necessary. You will know. So But you will know, obviously, because you go into those places and realize what it is. So then please just trust that knowingness and follow through. If you get the information that you need to, whatever, go to the doctor or take some kind of medication or supplementation or change your diet or change your habits, your exercise habits, or your daily sleep habits, or whatever, just follow through. Don't like, you go, you listen, you feel, and then you don't do anything about it. You know why I'm saying don't ignore it? Because it will get more uncomfortable. It will get so uncomfortable that you'll have to sooner or later listen. And our body is just such a perfect partner on this journey of embodying our divine essence into human form. It's incredibly um, clear, efficient, and when we are in that partnership with ease and grace, it's just all there. So, first of all, accept the discomforts. For me, for instance, whenever I go through uh, um, a frequency shift, usually it's been that I become a little bit hypersensitive to energies and thoughts and all of that, but it passes. It passes as after the shift, it passes. And in my most recent shift, actually the thing that I'd been sort of wishing for a long time is that now I don't feel affected by people's thoughts and feelings and all of that stuff. So that gives me a huge freedom that I can interact even more and be closer to other human beings whom I adore. I mean, I just love human beings. I love animals too, and all of nature. So human beings are part of it, part of nature. So I'm really happy that it's no longer uncomfortable. But for it to become to stop being uncomfortable, I've had to dive into it. Like, it's not just, you just put your little toe in there and, oh no, it's uncomfortable, I don't want it. If you don't really get yourself into that water, you're never going to adapt. So the invitation again is, no matter how uncomfortable something feels, if you feel that the invitation is coming from within for you to go ahead and dive deeper into it, just go, no fear, just go. The shift will happen as you are in the experience. And that is with every single experience that we feel an invitation to explore. Any invitation, whatever comes from within you, no matter how crazy or like seemingly impossible it is, go, follow the invitation. Go ahead. You will never regret it, ever. And that's how the turning point happens whenever we're going through a frequency shift and we get these invitations to explore this, explore more of that, whatever. Then you go, you dive into it, you explore it, and that's where the shift happens. That's where it really, boom, integrates into the body, that extra level of crystalline consciousness. So just be bold. You've been bold all along. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't even be human, because being human on earth is a pretty bold experience, isn't it? It's crazy, it's wild, it's, oh my God, it's everything. So what the heck if now, if now your boldness is taking you into experiences of exquisite deliciousness, of extreme beauty, of intense passion for life, and uh, this intense life force that is just bubbling with joy, what do you have to lose? You know, nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Dive, both feet deep in. Dip your head in the water too. Go on. No fear. And so within this journey, I've experienced many aches and pains and periods where I seemed to be really strangely ill, but not, because there were moments where I felt ill, but I wasn't ill in a way that could be identified. So I never even needed to go to the doctor or whatever. I just many times felt, okay, now stay still, just stay still. And even if I wanted to, I couldn't have done anything else, because in those moments I felt so knackered, so exhausted, so just completely incapable of doing anything, my body aching all over and all of that, that there was nothing else to do but stay still. And there was just this complete inner trust about what I felt was happening, and knowing that it was happening in a perfect way. And most recently, it was in 2021, between like February, March of 2021. It was really, really intense in that sense. And I couldn't even have any clients or anything during that time. It was extremely, extremely intense. And then it all shifted, and there was a new level of conscious awareness and possibility. And also, what I find is, as if it's possible, there's always an enhancing of the peace within, an enhancing of the silence, an enhancing of the serenity. It's just, I don't know how it can get even more, because there's such profound silence and peace within me that it's, whoa. I don't know, but it happens. And another thing that keeps on enhancing is compassion. And that is just also incredible, the way it keeps on enhancing and enhancing and enhancing. And oh, I'm just filled with it. And in this moment right now, it's incredible. So allow yourself, please allow yourself, because you have nothing to lose on this journey of realizing your wholeness within physical form, of embodying your wholeness. Nothing to lose. Along this journey also, there have been many changes of my diet, and also within the movement. So many of you probably know that I was a fitness expert. Well, still am, really, but I'm not working in the field at the moment with anyone else but myself. But I even had a gym of my own, and I worked in the fitness industry actively for 25 years. And I decided to stop because I felt like it. And so there were many things I learned along the way about exercise and health and well-being. I'm a postgraduate in health and exercise, and postgraduate as a personal trainer. So it's something I learned a lot about. And from 2013 onwards, it's been also about emptying my cup, like whatever I thought I knew, let it go. Just let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Until there came a point regarding exercise where I was invited, I think in 2017 or something like that, to stop all kinds of movement with the movement that I had been doing with the intent of doing exercise. So doesn't mean that I couldn't go for a walk, but to release the doing it as exercise. So I did that for over a year. And the funny thing is that previously, whenever like if I stopped exercising for a week or so, I would have a bit of aches and pains in my joints and in my spine and all of that. And in that time, when I really stopped everything, and yeah, I went for a walk here and there, but nothing with any intent of exercising, I had no pain at all. And then I realized that the intent of that physically was because my body was going through a shift in that moment and needed to release all of the need for any kind of hormones that were or had been so far produced through exercise. Any and all or hormones that had been produced through exercise had to just be completely wiped out of my system, of my physical system, as a need for the body, as a physical need. And so that happened. So it's like I weaned myself off of all of those. And then I started feeling like doing very gentle stretches, very graceful. And then I started doing a bit of functional exercise and Pilates and yoga and all of that, but not yoga in the kind of a spiritual sense of wanting to attain anything or anything, just the moves, the stretches, and it felt so good in all of my joints, really, really stretching myself in a gentle, kind way, not in order to achieve any kind of um, specific postures or be able to do any kind of extraordinary things. Nothing, just that feeling so graceful in the body that it just wanted to stretch. And then the muscles started asking for a little bit more um, movement, for a little bit more strength. And so then that started happening gradually in very also very gentle ways. So it was an unfolding, and at the moment now I even started to, some of to do some construction stuff, bioconstruction, and all of that. And whoa, that has been an upgrade in terms of physical strength, because it does require strength in many ways. There are many things that do require physical strength, and it's been so wonderful, so wow, oh my god, I can do this, and this and this and this, and feeling the body gaining such, not only being so flexible that I have no aches and pains anywhere. And also another wonderful thing is that my muscles don't get sore, so like maybe I can go through a really intense 2 or 3 days doing a lot of construction, and then I don't feel sore. There's no sore muscles. It's like, whoa, what's this? But I do then feel the need to rest more and do less physical stuff for a few days, and so it's sort of that kind of on and off. So that's also been following the inner sense. And regarding food, it's been incredible as well. There was a time also in 2017 where I felt like drinking a lot of juices. And so I went through a period where juices with vegetables and fruit and all of that, I went through a period where I just felt like juices. And then it shifted into more edible stuff that could be chewed. And then, I mean, it shifted so many times into different kinds of things. Then I stopped eating some meals a day because I didn't feel like eating so much. Then all of this craze with intermittent fasting started coming in. But after I just, this just came to me, like, to stop eating this meal and then that meal, and pff, all of a sudden, then sooner or later I realized there was something going on also all over the place, that people were into something called intermittent fasting, which I didn't even know about. The same thing happened to me with cold bathing in cold water. I mean, I started feeling like just bathing in cold water, going into the cold river, into the cold sea, and enjoying it so much. And but going gently, not with this kind of fast breathing and all of that before going in. No, no, none of that. Just going in gently, and just feeling that sense of what happens in the body when you go into that water, and the aliveness of the water, and it all coming, and just breathing it in and feeling so sensual. It's so sensual. Actually, it's quite orgastic, I would say. It's, whoa, really intense. So I've been doing that very regularly, winter, summer, all the time, since 2019. But just because I felt like it. And then after that started happening, then there's all this Wim Hof craze that started afterwards. So I didn't know anything about that. And actually, I don't practice that method at all. The way I go into cold water is just a very natural, normal. I go in, and I just let it happen in my body. I just love it so much. And now I have the privilege of having a pool right here, right in front of the window where I'm sitting at the moment. And so I can go in early in the morning, in the evening, whenever I want. And so it's November, almost December. And I keep on going in there almost every day. And it's just exquisite. That's another thing. And with the food, as I said, now, for instance, I'm doing one meal a day. Sometimes I do two meals a day. Sometimes I do no meal for a day or two or three. Just whatever I feel. And I'm not even going to go into the way I eat at the moment, because I'm sure that will freak the living daylights lights out of some people watching. So I'm not even gonna, I don't want to even suggest anything that it doesn't stay in anyone's mind, because it's what I do for me, and you will know what to do for you. But I've had to, I can go into that. Since the beginning of June, I completely dropped sugar, gluten, um, and all processed foods. And it, whoa, what is this? It's sort of, it enhanced my capacities, my extrasensorial senses, my clarity. mm, Also, I sleep less. My energy level just, whoa, skyrocketed. And so, with an interesting thing, it started at the beginning of June, and then this frequency shift that I've been talking to you about, that's the most recent one, started in begin more intensely at the beginning of August. So it was sort of like, all right, 2 months before, I was already being prepared through my consciousness for this. So it just comes to you, it comes to you when it needs to come to you. So basically, I feel like, I don't know, 10 or 20 years younger, in terms of my energy level, my clarity, my health, my physical endurance, my flexibility, everything. It's just like, whoa, what is this? Yeah. So it's just allowing the sense to guide us. And now, another thing I'd like to talk about within this last just breathe is that there are moments of rebalancing, always, all the time along our journey, because um, as we live in amidst 3D and within duality, though we aren't experiencing duality from within ourselves, we live immersed in it. um, Adjustments happen frequently, so always there are always moments of rebalancing in terms of what happens and shifts in our reality. That's also very normal, and it's natural and simple. And if you're not in resistance with any of what's happening or happens, it's just absolutely fine, it whatever whatever happens, whatever needs to happen happens. And it's so beautiful that you don't have to know when or how or what, it just happens for you. And another thing I've noticed is that literally, absolutely literally, everything comes to me. So everything comes to you too. It comes for sure 100% of the time. There are so many things I had, felt that were going to be coming into my reality, but I didn't know how. And then, boom, they just come. They happen. They come to me. So energy serves us 100% of the time. And the more we are out of its way and allow it to flow, the more it is so. Um, so yeah, just go with the flow of whatever is there. If it's in your reality, if it's happening right now, receive it completely, no matter whether it seems fantastic or whether it seems inappropriate. If it seems inappropriate, it's just you judging it. Okay, it's not inappropriate, otherwise it wouldn't be in your reality. So receive it completely, because it's gonna bring so much more into your life. Allow whatever it is, allow, receive. And last but not least is the reference of the big difference between living from the new energy that springs from the infinite source within, or the old energy. And a big difference within that is that within the old energy, we were very used to using judgment, and through judgment, anger, in order to produce energy. And that defined our interactions with the world and with ourselves. So the anger could be directed to ourselves or outside, or a kind of level of judgment as to, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, and so on and so forth. That was the old way of producing energy. And once you start shifting into the new energy, into trust, into complete trust, you have to. You just have to let go of judgment, because it doesn't serve anything within your new earth reality. And because it's an old way of perpetuating victimhood. Okay. And victimhood is the old way of the victim, abuser, savior triangle kind of abuse mode, to produce energy. So that is why compassion is so essential. Because once you release judgment, whatever anger you have repressed inside of you can come up, and you can see it. You can look at it in the eye, not be afraid of it, because you're not judging it. So you don't have to avoid it. You can just let it out, so that you can integrate that energy, because that energy is creative life force. It's precious. And once you bring it back home, it can serve you in a whole new way. And the whole new way is pretty intense. intensely beautiful, intensely, wildly beautiful. So please do allow yourself the kindness of releasing the need to jump into judgment. And if you're releasing that, you're releasing frustration, you're releasing fighting against, you're releasing so many more things. I mean, you've done that for so long here on earth. You already know how it works. Probably you don't need it anymore. Ask yourself. But it might cause a little bit of sadness in between, because you're parting with a very dear friend. This anger, this kind of passionate fervor to be here, and the way you create energy through that. But yeah, it's no big deal. You can let it go. There's so much more here for you. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because with the people I've been working with lately, it's come up quite a lot. So I believe it probably is some kind of astrological alignment that is providing that opportunity right now for those who are aware of this to be able to transcend these patterns. It's no longer about being angry at, about being judgmental about. It's something so very different. So what we're going to breathe, because we always have some element of compassionate breath in these just breathe sessions, is precisely this: letting go of the judgments, self-criticism, anger at oneself, doubt, fear, and just sinking deeper into this whole allowing. Right? Is that okay? Are you in with me with this? And my beloved friends, I'm feeling the celebration of all of you here, and it's so wonderful. Oh, it's there's this just these sparkling kind of fireworks springing forth from your hearts. Uh, it's so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for celebrating with me. So, if there's anything you'd like to share before we go into the breath, the compassionate breath, please do. Please share it on the chat. And if not, uh, then we will just proceed. It started raining. Can you hear it? What a beautiful thing that it started raining right now. And the cleansing waters can wash away all of that old energy and those judgments and everything you don't need anymore. Isn't that wonderful? It's really appropriate. Everything is just so perfect. I'll tell you a little story even before we go into the breath, just about everything is, yes, Ohama's energy, for sure, always here. That happened the other day. Like these things happen to me every single day, but um, thank you very much, Tiasha. We reflect each other, all of us, huh? So this little story was, so as a kind of construction site manager that I've been lately, because I have to not only, I also do stuff, but I also have to take care of the stuff that needs to be provided for everyone to have stuff to work with. So to go to the shops and get all the stuff and all of that. And I'd ordered some um, special plastic that is used for greenhouses, because we made a green roof, and the green roof in this case was made with wooden planks, and then it is covered with cardboard, and then it is covered with this greenhouse plastic, which is very, very durable, so it will last 100 years. And then it's covered with a kind of a fiber, which, as it were, as I said, words just sometimes slip away, so I can't remember the name. Um, oh, geo something, whatever, doesn't matter. And then on top of that, you put earth, dirt, so from the land where you are. So here we just got quite a load of buckets and wheelbarrows of earth to put on top, and then you plant. And in this case, we planted succulent cactuses on the top. And so, okay, so I went out to get the greenhouse plastic, and I went to one construction place, and this was a Monday, and I went to get other stuff too, and they didn't have it there. So I said, okay, so I'll come here either tomorrow or the following day, because they had it in another shop they have. So they just had to get it from there and bring it to the one they have in town. So I took the other stuff, and then I went back there on Wednesday, which was the day we needed it. And I get there and they didn't have it. And the lady says, oh, my colleague's just gone to the other shop and she will bring it. And because I needed to go into town again later on, I said, okay, so I'll come here again around about such and such time and I'll collect it. And so then I went to do whatever else I had to do, which I don't even remember right now. And anyway, I went there again to get the plastic thing, and they didn't have it. Oh, my colleague was alone. She couldn't cut it alone, and all of that stuff, and da 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 da. And then I was, yeah, well, so I've got two options. Either I go to the other shop, which is out of town, like about 7 kilometers or 8, which I didn't feel like doing. And then boom, all of a sudden it came to me, go to such and such shop, which is another shop that sells construction materials in town. Go there. So I told the woman, okay, so forget about the order. I'm going to this shop right now. I get there, and there's this lady at the counter, and there was this big slab of this greenhouse plastic on the scale already being weighed, and the price had already been made, that are already settled, because it's sold by weight. And but the lady was just going around in circles in her head, because she was figuring that maybe she needed a bit more. But the problem is that they cut the plastic for the size you want. So I mean, she was just feeling a little bit anxious of not taking the one she'd already asked them to cut, because then they just couldn't sell it, and it was a bit of a thing. And so I then the young girl at the counter said, okay, just think about it a bit, and I will take this lady's order, me. So I told her what I needed. And then she's thinking, and she goes and asks the colleague, and da, da, da. And then the guy just says, well, that's exactly the size she needs, that's on top of the scale. And so she says, oh, so this is it. Would you like to take it? I said, yeah, obviously, of course. It's already cut and priced and all. And so the other lady says, oh, God brought you here. God brought you here right now, because now I can get exactly the measurement I want. And I got my stuff before the lady who was already there. So I just paid for it and came away, and she still stayed there with her thing. So everyone won. I won, the shop won, and the lady won. So what happens 100% of the time in my life right now, and these things happen every day, okay? This one is particularly interesting, I find. So that's why I shared it with you. Um, is that it's always win-win for everyone involved. Everyone comes out gaining. And it's amazing. It's like, wow. So, yeah, that is living in complete trust and just following your inner guidance 100% of the time. And now we'll dive into the breath. Hi, Maureen. Hello, and thank you. And we'll dive into the breath to experience this level of letting go of all judgments, of the anger, or at least letting that anger come up if it's hiding somewhere in you, that you can accept it so fully with absolutely no judgment and just let it implode into you like a big bombshell that then explodes into new energy. Okay? Right. So I invite you to get comfortable. Just lean back, lie back, whatever is most comfortable for you. If you don't have earphones, I do highly recommend it because the my voice, as you know, usually gets lower. Um, so get those, get really comfortable. And if you're ready, I am too. So I invite you to close your eyes and to breathe deeply through your nose, deeply and ever so softly. And as you take in that breath, just receive it. Receive it fully. And when you let go of the breath, let it go. Let it go completely. No attachment. So you drink it in completely and you just let it go completely in a constant flow of receiving and releasing. Always inhaling and exhaling through your nose. So very naturally. And notice that this breath, it's happening in your whole body. Your whole body is breathing. Each single pore is like your nose breathing. Allow yourself to be this fertile ground that is so ready to receive each breath, like water, like the sun, like the air that feeds and enhances you. You are all of it at once. And so as you breathe, inhaling deeply and softly, and exhaling equally deeply and softly, just allow yourself to burst open, wide open, Release any kind of tension or resistance you might be feeling in any part of the body, and just open up. Open up completely. Landing so fully in the body right now. Landing so fully in your core, in your center. That it just feels sublime to be here in your body, in your human vehicle of divine wholeness. The place where you can experience everything and anything. And so I invite you to release the belief that the body is limited in that sense, because you have really experienced so much through it. True, it's been a lot of suffering, a lot of stuff you didn't like, but also a lot of everything else. And I invite you now to really, truly become aware as you are breathing of the amount of purely magical, miraculous experiences you've had alongside everything else, alongside the suffering and the pain and all of these things. And I invite you in this moment to, as you are here breathing safely in your body, to just allow all of these experiences and their different natures to come into balance within you as you release the judgment around them. And as you release the judgment, I invite you also to let go of the need to believe that you are somehow not enough, small and incapable. Just release that. Release the belief of insufficiency, of lack. And as you receive the full spectrum of all of your experiences, notice how abundant you are. So, can you release all of those people whom you have judged for not having been honest, for not having been straight with you, for not having treated you right, all of these things? Just release all of the judgments in your gratitude for the richness of all of those experiences that now allows you to expand compassion for you. For in this now moment, you're doing this for you, for your own freedom. And I also invite you to, as you breathe, bring back home all of those judgments you've had towards yourself of, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that, oh, how silly I was, and so on. Why do I keep on doing this? There must be something wrong with me. All of these things. Oh, I just can't stand myself. So many voices. Just allow them. Allow them to speak. They can't harm you if you're not judging them. Can you honestly believe any of that at the point of your journey where you are right now? None of that is your truth. You can let it go with a wide smile. A deep, sweet breath. And if there's anything that comes into your awareness that you feel you should stop doing, then embrace that and decide to stop doing it. That's all. And after deciding, really follow through with your decision. Take yourself off the judgment stand. You are not in court. You're not on trial. Just please, in this sweet breath, embrace yourself. Embrace yourself so sweetly. Just breathe. Breathe and allow. More of you right here, right now. Removing all of the resistances and just flowing. Flowing in your yes. Breathing, always breathing deeply and softly through your nose. Opening up and receiving even more. Receiving the more of you that had been just stuck in all of those judgments and that now can be released into freedom to serve you. To serve you in your new, exquisitely magnificent landscape of embodied isness. Allow the compassion. Allow the compassion to flow from head to toe of this beautiful body of yours that houses the crystalline essence of who you are. And that as a human, you can perceive in so many more dimensions of possibility because of the physicality of you. So sensual it is to be here, to be you. And allow yourself to release the judgment even around death. For it matters not whether you are to be experiencing further as an alive being or whether it's time to transition. Whatever it is just perfect for you. But you know, you will know exactly what it is for you. One way or another, life is ongoing. It does not end with physicality. And through this embodiment that you are allowing for you of the crystalline consciousness, you take the wise experiences of embodiment with you. Here, there, anywhere. Life goes on. Here on earth and beyond it. Consciousness is unending. There is nothing to avoid or protect yourself from. For when you are allowing the crystalline life force of expanded consciousness you are always safe in your experience, safe from judgment, safe from duality, safe from unconsciousness. You're safe. It's not even a concept within expanded consciousness. So breathe, breathe, dear one, openly, widely, joyfully. Celebrate it all, life and death and everything in between. No resistance to you. My heart sings with yours. In this paradise within that we each manifest for ourselves when we allow. So I invite you, dear one, to breathe even more deeply as you start preparing yourself to very gradually open your eyes and just feeling your physicality, feeling yourself so very here, in love, at peace, and joyfully available for you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing up today, for being here with me, for breathing with me. It's been such a privilege, a real honor. A delicately exquisite gift your presence is. Thank you, Dina. Thank you. And so it came to me. So I was at the beginning saying, so I will be providing, I was saying once or twice a month, 15 to 30 minutes of my presence with you, breathing in silence. It's similar to the inner circle of silence that I have in the enlightening showers of presence, with the difference that I am actually going to be breathing with you. So it's going to be twice a month, but once it's introduced in Portuguese and the other time it's introduced in English. But it really makes no difference because after the introduction, we're going to be in silence. So you can attend both if you'd like. These will be free sessions that will be available through Insight Timer. They will be live on Insight Timer. I will announce them. And so that will substitute somehow the Just Breathe Live in English and in Portuguese. And then, as I said, the monthly Living in the Flow with my beloved soul sister Alexis, and then the Discovering the Magic with my beloved soul sister Serena, and then the Living in Symbiosis, which is in Portuguese, but which, if you don't understand Portuguese, you can view later on with the subtitles, with my beloved soul sister Joanna. So these also will be happening on a monthly basis. Living in the Flow is always on a Saturday. We book the Saturdays as we go. Now it's at 11 p.m. a.m. my time and 9 p.m. Brisbane, Australia. Joanna and mine, Living in Symbiosis, is always on the 22nd at 8 p.m. Portugal time. And Discovering the Magic with Serena is always on the dates that match. So it was on the 11th, now it's on the 12th of the 12th. Then it will be on the 1st of the 1st, and so on. 3:30 p.m. my time, 8:30 a.m. in Colorado, where Serena is. So it has been really amazing to be here with you. I always forget, but I suppose you know that I have a donations button on my website. If you go to the InPassion Creations tab, it's there. If you feel like donating anything, you're free to do so, but you're also free not to. And there's absolutely nothing to it. I'm just mentioning it because it's there. And if you feel like it, it's available. And there are so many things coming out in the next few months that, whoa, I'm so happy about it. And I was noticing a few days ago, I was feeling, it's been so beautiful to create all of these things because it's such a joy. It's so effortless. And so all of the books I've written, all of the lives, all of the breath sessions that are available on YouTube and on Inside Timer and all of that stuff, it's just, there's so much that's available for free that anyone can really explore and be touched by. And also, as I said, the other stuff that's paid for, my books, and now I'm going to repeat the So It's Simple immersive conscious breath immersive experience, which I highly recommend. It's all out there, and it's just a joy to create it. It doesn't matter who it touches, how it touches. It's just creating. So I invite you, dear one, whatever you are feeling like creating, enjoy whatever it is in your life, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be remotely similar to what I create. I mean, anything, whatever it is you feel like creating, just go ahead and do it. Express your essence through your creation. And that will be it for today. Thank you so much, and a huge warm hug. And I wish you the rest of a magnificent Sunday, just like you. And yeah, we'll see each other around for sure. And it just feels so good to be here. Thank you.